here. I just started cooking dinner. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're thinking, well, that's kind of early to cook dinner. It is, unless you're going to sous vide your steaks. And that's what I'm doing today in my trailer. Okay, so what we want to do is fill the container about maybe just a little over 2/3 full. You don't want it too full because you're going to put the steak in there and the circulator, so those will actually take up space and lift the water. So I'm going to go ahead and start filling. It's best to fill it with hot water, so make sure that your water heater is on and fill it with the hottest tap water that you can. It's not going to be more than 115 to 120 degrees, which is lower than you're going to cook the steak anyway. So let's go ahead and start filling this up. One of the things that I always do is I put the clamp on, then I find that the little cutout in the lid is ever so slightly off of where I put the clamp. So you can just adjust it as you go. But this is pretty easy, it just screws on. And then you want to situate the lid right where, over where the clamp would be. Now you can put the lid on first and connect the lid on this side first so that it's kind of a flap like that. That's fine too. And then just basically the idea is with the lid, you want to try to keep the heat in. So let's show you what the circulator looks like when it is sitting inside this. All right, so there's your circulator. Okay, so I have a really big, fat, juicy steak that I got at Wegmans yesterday. It is a 1 1/3 pound ribeye. It's very thick, so this will be big enough for at least 2 people, I would say. One of our favorite things with steak is blue cheese. Our favorite is from Maytag Dairies. It is phenomenal. They've really perfected the blue cheese, and it does taste a little different depending on what time of year that they made the blue cheese. I'm gonna also have a giant zucchini. I think the giant zucchini goes great with the giant steak, so I'm just gonna slice that up and saute it. Everything is going to be done inside. And I have a leftover piece of Wegmans organic sourdough bread. I'm going to make garlic bread with this. I think that would be really great. And instead of using the oven to make garlic bread, I'm just going to kind of griddle it right here on the stovetop. So when you're thinking about prepping a steak for sous vide cooking, what you want to really keep in mind is that the only thing or seasoning that's going to get into the steak is salt. You can accompany the whatever protein that you're cooking with an herb. It will give it the essence of the herb on the outside of the steak. It really won't get into the steak. I always think you're better off just doing, say, a compound butter. If you really like garlic and cilantro with your steak, which is wonderful, by the way, make a compound butter. Just chop up the cilantro really good, roast some garlic, and then just knead it into some butter. Roll it up in a tube, stick it in the fridge, and then when you're finished and ready to serve your steak, you can just slice off little coins and put them on the steak and let them melt right over. All I'm really going to put on the steak before I put it into the circulator is salt. So I'm just going to put in just some ground sea salt. I really, I didn't want to like this, but I really do. It's Blackstone's steak seasoning. It's kind of like Montreal steak, but it's a finer grind, which I like better. So it's not that really, really coarse like Montreal, but this is really good. So we'll put this on after the steak is already cooked and we're just ready to sear it. So hang on. Okay, let's unwrap this. see what this looks like. And it's gonna look good. It's gonna be beautiful. Wegmans wraps their steaks so that they, it's like a present. So they're really good about it. All right, so look at that. That is a beautiful cut of meat. It's got a lot of great marbling, which is really what you want. You don't want a steak that has no marbling because that means it's going to be really dry and kind of like cardboard. Okay. I like to give it a lot of salt. Lots of salt. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Give it a lot of good salt. Now don't forget to salt the edges. That's lovely fatty edges. So the next thing I want to do is I want to put it into this Ziploc bag. All right. Now, when I seal up the Ziploc bag, it's going to have a little air in it, which is fine for now, because you're going to let the water bath help you push and displace the air out of the bag. It's science, folks. The air will want to come out of the bag. Alrighty, there we go. Okay, so you give it a second and it tells you the temperature of the water currently 128.3 degrees. And this is the temperature that you want it to be. I do not want it to be, I want it to be 130 degrees. So Barry and I like our steaks a little on the rare side of medium rare. I don't like it rare, don't like it medium. Kind of like it just on that side of medium rare. So we're gonna set it to 130 and we're gonna start it. Okay, so let's put the steak in. So this is where your clips come in handy. This is where my clips are gonna come in handy. They're gonna keep the steak in place. So I'm just going to lift up. Right? I'm gonna slide the steak in. And I'm gonna open up the bag just a tiny bit and let any air escape. And see what happens is that the water will push the excess air out of the bag. And I can seal it back up again. Stick it back in there and I'm going to clip it to the inside of the bag. When I put the little clips down, helps to push the steak down. Okay, we're gonna let this guy just hang out in here for 2 hours. So I'm going to set my timer for 2 hours. And there it is. So 2 hours. All right, so it's been an hour and a half. And this steak is looking pretty good in there. I don't know, it's kind of hard to see through the bag, but it's looking pretty good. It's pretty done. I mean, it's done enough now, but we're going to let it sit for another half an hour while I work on getting the zucchini prepped and the garlic bread prepped. So in order to conserve pans so that I don't have 3 different pans to clean, I'm going to use, and I'm just going to put this guy across 2 of the burners on my stove, and I'll show you. This is a camping griddle. I'm pretty sure I got it at Walmart. It's nonstick. It washes up really well. It goes in the dishwasher if you're at home. I am going to carve the steak and bring it to the table. So, there we go. This is a beautiful steak. It's like a prime rib. And you'll notice that the only dark line is the sear line. The steak is even color all the way throughout because it cooked evenly in the sous vide bath. Hey there, what you been doing all day?
waiting for this. Oh my God.
So, let's see.
So I gotta tell you that we tasted the end cap, had to sample it. You always have to sample when you're tasting steak. It was like butter. It was so soft.
Okay, so let's take a peek at what you got going on here.
Well, but you gotta do the Maytag blue cheese.
Oh, okay.
This stuff is the bomb. Oh, and it's been sitting out. So for most people, you might think, oh, that is gross. Again, that is nothing more than a whole lot of goodness.
So what are you doing with your Maytag blue cheese?
I'm going to eat it with my steak.
Okay, very good.
The trick is you got to let it get at room temperature. The wedges, let it get at room temperature so it just kind of just melts easily. So.
Yeah. You need to taste it now.
You gave me a butter knife to cut steak?
I did.
Oh,
I feel like it's going to work out.
Well, I know it will. Oh, wow. You know what it cuts like?
What?
Butter. So, the trick is a little bit of steak. You got to put a little bit of blue cheese on there. That right there is... Oh.
And?
Oh my God. Wow. That is so good. The blue cheese has an initial in your face. Oh my God, it's so good. But it melts around the meat. This meat is so good. Where'd you get this?
Wegmans.
Wegmans? Oh. You can't keep filming me. I want to eat now.
Okay. Okay, y'all, we're going to eat. I'll be right back to wrap this all up. Hang on. Okay, so let's wrap this up. So what did we do? We cooked our steaks in a sous vide water bath, 130 degrees. Gets us a little to the shy of medium rare, but then we just finish it off on the stove. I finished it off on the stove today because that's what's available to me. It's kind of gross outside, so I didn't want to set up the Blackstone. But hey, I have a stove. Amazing garlic bread, delicious zucchini, obviously the blue cheese on the steak, so good, like really just so good. So we've come to this. If you like this video, how about give us a thumbs up? If you are new and you haven't subscribed yet, why haven't you? Hit the subscribe button. Also hit the bell. If you hit the bell, that's right. Yes, you get notified that we put out a new video and you get to watch it right away, which would be awesome. Well, I think anyway. As always, thank you so much for being our guest, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.